In the Maafa 21, we talked about Samuel Yet, the journalist who worked for, first black journalist for Newsweek magazine, rose to be the Washington bureau chief for the Newsweek magazine, wrote a book called The Choice, talking about how abortion and birth control were being used to wipe out the black community. The week after that book was published, he was brought in and fired. And at the firing, and there's a video of him talking about this, at the firing, he was asked why he was being let go, and they pointed at the White House and said the Nixon White House said they wanted you out of Washington, D.C. And blacks in those days found out, just like Samuel Yet found out, that if you speak out against this cartel, there's a price to be paid, and most people didn't want to pay it. The Jesse Jacksons of the world sold out rather than paying that price. We might have a new Samuel Yet brewing.
Oh, yeah, talk about my brother, huh?
You had a situation in North Carolina with a black talk show host, Jimmy Lewis Jr., right?
Jimmy Lewis Jr. was one of the most liberal black radio show guys there was.
Hardcore pro-abort. He watches Maafa 21.
Total change of heart.
Changed his mind.
He not only watched, he watched it twice in one night.
Right.
Wow.
This guy's hardcore pro-abort, liberal talk show host, and not just a minor one. He was called the Rush Limbaugh of North Carolina, as I understand.
A real icon in the black community. You know, Jesse, Jimmy, I'm talking about Jimmy. Jimmy was in a wheelchair, and everybody loved him because he was a drug dealer at one time, got shot 5 times. So everybody really liked him.
He's got street cred.
Yeah, big time. But after he saw Maafa, he went on the radio and let it be known that he was no longer pro-choice.
I understand he apologized.
He was pro-law. I mean, he not on he not only just did one program on it. He did a number of programs, even on his Focus. He even brought me on. He brought other people on. Pastor Bobby on. Cynthia Stewart was on. I mean, he made it. I mean, he was very adamant.
We don't want to get into too many details right now because they're just kind of evolving.
Well, yeah, to jump to the chase is the radio station decided to change the format.
And fired him.
And they just moved everybody else around on all the shows except for one, him.
Hadn't he started that radio
He had
station?
been working. He had been there 16 years.
16 years.
So he changed his position on abortion.
And he's fired.
And immediately he's fired, and he's called the Rush Limbaugh of North Carolina. That's his nickname. And I think the message is being sent again. I said in Maafa 21 that things like what happened to Samuel Yet, the left in this country and the elites, the moneyed elite, sent a message to the African American community: either you get on board with this eugenics, or you keep your mouth shut. And they've now sent that message to Jimmy Lewis.
Right. Yep. And the interesting part is everybody else that got shifted around were not brown. They were white. And Jimmy was the only black, and he was the only one they let go.
So it ain't over yet, is it?
It's just now starting.